Hi guys, how are you all doing? Here we are Tuesday. As always, 8:30 p.m. I hope you guys are all having as good of a start to the week as I am. After the way the last couple weeks have kind of played out, this week seems like it's gonna start to level itself out. Hopefully it's a good week for everybody else too. So, last week we had a different kind of intention. We had a make your own intention. So I hope that all of you took advantage of that and kind of um, reached into that energy that you're cultivating and the energy that we've been talking about for a while and the things we've been focusing on. I hope you kind of worked with that a little bit yourself and explored that a little bit. So this week, our intention: I am passionate and compassionate. I am passionate and compassionate. So the intention's always released on Sunday. I put it out a couple days early so that way you can look at it yourself, kind of sit with it, contemplate it, see what your first thoughts are, see what comes to mind when you first see it. Those first thoughts, those are usually something that you should focus on and something you should pay a little bit of attention to. That's your quiet mind, your subconscious mind, and your inner mind reaching out to you and giving you little tidbits of where to focus. So I put it out there for you to look at it a little bit for yourself before we come here together on Tuesday. Coming up with the intention, always looking to the astrology in the sky and the energies that are around us. I look at where the planets are, what they're doing. For the week, look at the transits and look at the aspects, look at the speeds and motions and all of that, and I look at it all together as kind of like a big picture for the week, and we find guidance towards an intention that we can share together collectively, and share in the same words and the same thoughts, while each personalizing it to ourselves and to our own path. Um, that's the thing with astrology, right? So the same energies that are in the sky, the same transits that are above all of our heads, that is reflecting and symbolizing the energies and the things that could possibly be playing out here on Earth. They can play out for us. It's the same energies overhead all of us, but it can play out very, very differently for each one of us. Within certain themes and certain parameters based on our own life, our own path, our own free will and determination, all those other little things that go into our own life and that make my path and your path unique and different. So it's the same thing with the intention. We have an overarching umbrella intention that we work with together, that we share together, just like the energies that we share in the sky and the aspects that we share and the planets and the motions that we share. But then you can take it yourself and you can personalize it and tailor it to your own life. And I think that's what's really cool about doing this meditation online like this. Together live, we're all doing it at the same time, but within our own space and within our own comfort. We can change things however we need to, and I totally encourage you to do that. You don't need to, yeah, you don't need to just follow what I tell you to do. I want you to listen to yourself. So, I am passionate and compassionate. Think about that for just a moment if you haven't yet. I'm passionate and compassionate. And what are the first thoughts that come to your mind when you hear that? So this week, looking at, sorry, give me just one second. I lost my notes on the computer, so I'm going to pull them up a different way. So when I was looking at the transits in the sky this week, it felt like there was a lot of passion. And it kind of felt like maybe we needed to balance that with a little bit of compassion, maybe. Let's see. Looking in the comments here, Liz. Someone says, sometimes I'm compassionate to a fault and take on loved one's problem. I can feel it. Yes. So, passion and compassion. It's looking at balancing the two of these here, right? Trying to keep the two of them together. And I feel like that can be a hard thing to do because just the term, like when I think of passion or being passionate about something, I think about not really being like, I don't want to say selfish, but a little self-centered a little bit, right? You have to like kind of think about yourself a little bit. Where we're compassionate, you know, we're not necessarily thinking about ourselves, we're considering others. And it can be difficult to find a balance. You know, difficulties also with finding boundaries with compassion right now. Saturn and Pisces. We've talked a lot about how Saturn and Pisces is bringing up, you know, issues with boundaries and things like that. And that's part of the energy we have this week. So one of the aspects we have going on this week is we have Mars opposing Saturn in the sign of Pisces. So Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. It's opposing Mars in the sign of Virgo. And usually when you think of Saturn, Saturn is, you think of Saturn as being the firm and the stickler, the one to say no, the grounded one here, right? But in this instance, in this opposition, Mars sitting in Virgo in Mercury's sign, Mars might almost be the more firm and grounded one, almost more the one that's going to say, no, Saturn, we're going to take this action and we're going to do we're going to do the things. We're going to have the ambition and we're going to move forward. So Saturn in Pisces, much more fluid with its boundaries compared to Capricorn and Aquarius, where Saturn has sat for several previous years leading up to this year. So Saturn isn't as clear in the sign of Pisces as it is in several other signs. So it brings out more of the qualities of Saturn of being almost like being between two worlds here. So, you know, Saturn, it represents boundaries and structures and foundations and seriousness, yes, but there's also kind of another layer to Saturn. There's also this like mystical boundaries, but like this. So Saturn is this planet that sits between the boundaries of like the material world and the physical world and the spiritual world, the energetic world. So Saturn is the farthest planet that we can see normally with our naked eye. We discovered the outer planets with the use of telescopes. So there's this symbolism to Saturn of being on the boundary of what is and what isn't, what is physical and what isn't physical. The spiritual and energetic side, which even if you don't necessarily consider yourself a spiritual or religious person, there's still those elements somewhere within your life, and the physical material world. And now with that idea of Saturn, you have Mars sitting opposite of that, sitting in Virgo, sitting in the sign that that starts to critique things and starts to weigh different options. It's a sign of Mercury. It's the home of Mercury. It's the place of our mind, of our thoughts. It's the earthly sign of Mercury. So it's very much about the groundedness of our mind and preparing for actions and preparing for what's coming in the future. That's where you can get this like very sometimes like organized and critical, very compartmentalizing within Virgo. So you have this standoff between Mars and Saturn right now. You have passion of Mars, and Saturn has a little more compassion than it normally does. And then we also have the Sun opposing Pluto this week as well. So when we have the Sun in a strong opposition to Pluto. Especially, we have a new moon this week too. We had a new moon, right? A new moon in the sign of Cancer on Sunday. So when the sun comes into this strong opposition with Pluto, you're gonna have like new things coming in, and you're gonna have things showing up, but they're not like new out of the blue things. It gives me much more the feeling of things coming to surface or coming to fruition that have been brewing or festering or maybe even threatening, something that you've said you were going to do, or something that somebody said they were going to do or follow through on, or something like that. It has that type of feeling. So it's kind of like, I've been saying I'm going to do this, and now I'm actually going to really do it or follow through. Or it might not be that you're actually doing it, but you have more, you're feeling pulled more towards it. So, with the new moon in the sign of Cancer, very much can have things to do with like your roots, your family, your home, things within your very much personal surrounding, personal space here. So we have this very passionate energy. We have this standoff of the sun and Pluto, the sun being the solar energy, the guiding light in our universe here, right? And then Pluto, the planet of very, very deep transformation and, bringing things up from the depths and bringing things up from the underworld. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, Hades, right? So very much thinking about these things coming up that have been around for a while but haven't quite surfaced. So things that the passion has been growing within. Mars opposite Saturn, looking at the boundaries and the limitations and the structures and that we put on ourselves and on others. Being able to put together the plan in a Mars Virgo type of way while also still thinking about others in a Saturn Pisces type of way, right? So you have this very like offsetting energy, and it feels so strong that it feels like it could be very, very, very passionate. So it just also kind of feels like we need to maybe remember to be compassionate. Maybe we have other strong poles too that are going on right now. The nodes are shifting the nodes of the moon are shifting into Aries and Libra from Taurus and Scorpio. We've been talking about that a lot lately here. So you have that nodal shift, you have that pull of energy we've been talking about from one area of your life, one house, one particular focus to another particular focus. So you're going to start to feel the pull towards where you see Aries in your life. So the planets that you have in the sign of Aries, the house that it falls in, those type of topics, you're going to start to feel those start to kind of pull at you. And chances are you probably already have, because I know I sure have. So this week, I am passionate and compassionate. It's kind of like remembering I'm passionate and I'm focused and I am about me, but I'm also compassionate and I'm also about others too at the same time, because I really don't feel like we have to step on anybody's toes to do what we have to do. Maybe sometimes you have to stick up for yourself, but not really like stepping on toes and, not thinking about other people. Like, I was totally raised on the golden rule of treat people the way you want to be treated, and it just, nothing makes more sense than that. So this week, I am passionate yet compassionate. I am passionate yet compassionate. So where do you see these things playing out in your lives? We see some comments, people seeing things popping up. Yeah. Conflicting family affairs that will be resolving soon. So, Melissa, the new moon, new beginnings, and a new cycle. Okay, right? So moving from one to the other. So hopefully that's a good phase for you. Venus, we've talked a lot about Venus going into retrograde, and that stationing emotion, stopping motion is going to occur over this upcoming weekend. So you also have this pull where where Leo is in your chart. We've talked a lot about that, so we don't need to focus on that a whole lot right now. But that pole is going to start to really start to play out in your life. And these aspects that we've been talking about recently, we're going to start to move into that backward motion to re-hit those aspects again. And actually, I think it's neat right now that the moon is in the early signs of Leo. I think it's at like maybe 8, 9, 10 degrees of Leo, something like that. And it's applying to Mercury at 14 degrees Leo, 13 degrees Leo, something like that. So right now, while we're having this meditation, while we're having this time, we're contemplating and thinking about these forward-thinking things and the things we're passionate about and the areas of our lives we have compassion. The moon, our body and our being, is coming into a conjunction with Mercury, with our mind, with our thoughts and our perceptions, and Mercury, Hermes, the messenger god, the god that brings messages of the divine to us. So, like, from right now through the night and the evening, if you're in a similar time zone as I am, into tomorrow morning, I think it's exact around 8:30 in the morning, we have this time where there's really extra energy to put a focus on in an intention and putting energy towards manifesting and bringing things forward within the Leo areas of your life. And we've been talking a lot about that lately. So these focuses we've been talking about and these themes that we've been talking about, I would say like the next 12 hours, super crucial. Not crucial, like if you don't focus on it, you're going to lose out or anything like that, but it's a super auspicious time to focus on it. And I think it's really, really cool that we're right here together in the applying phase. So, yes. Libra Sun and Aries Moon, looking in the comments. 2 different personalities the past couple weeks. Melissa, I am right there with you. Uranus has been doing its thing on me lately in the sign of Taurus. So, as we come into our meditation, I want you to remember that we have this extra help of the moon and Mercury right now. We always have super wonderful, powerful energy here during our meditation, but it just feels a little extra special on the week of the nodal shift and, coming up with Venus retrograde starting before our next session next Tuesday, that we have this extra support in the sign of Leo that we have been focusing on really intently for quite some time. So it just feels like the universe is really kind of supporting us extra right now. So let's get started, huh? Enough rambling. I feel like I rambled a lot today. Sorry. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. It's hard to focus it too much. So we will get ready to light our intentional candle. We always use white here for not only universal energy, but also for a purity of energy and a clarification of energy. So I just want to make it as universal and abundant as possible. On the table we have my little bird bell. This was my grandma's bell and it's now my bell. It usually stays on my altar, but she's the ultimate sign of compassion, my grandma, anybody that knew her. So I thought bringing her into this meditation might kind of help with that, bringing in that compassion where there might be like so much passion and drive. So I thought that might be kind of neat to share that on the table tonight. So we will start by lighting our intentional candle. And if at any time you have your own candle that you want to light, feel free. And we focus on the candle. We focus our intention. I am passionate and compassionate. As the flame of the candle grows, so does our intention. The universal energy of white is shared amongst all of us. Grounded in the earth, in the soil. Grounded in Mother Earth. Let's start by closing our eyes and focusing on the intention. I am passionate and compassionate. I am passionate and compassionate. I can focus on myself and advance while allowing others to do the same. I am focused on myself and my own endeavors, but I am mindful of others. As the sun and the moon united in the sign of Cancer, the sign of the moon, the sign of the maternal goddess. New beginnings, new roots, new foundations. A new leaf that serves my personal sphere well and lifts me up. Bringing us to where we are now. Loved, nourished, cared for, and ready now with the moon in the sign of Leo and the sign of the sun. The solar heat the energy of our universe, of our small little section of the universe. The fiery lion that is passionate. Passionate yet concerned of others and considerate of others. feeling loved and nourished by the mother, by the moon. We move into the place of the sun, the place where we walk forward in authenticity, the place we have been focusing oh so intently on lately. Many of our intentions have had focus in the sign of Leo. Now the moon moves closer and nearer to Mercury, to the winged messenger who brings us information from the divine, insights, wisdom, knowledge, resources. Standing tall and confident and ready for whatever comes our way. The passion and the fire that is burning inside of you. There is no need to hold that within anymore. There's no need to hold those desires and hold your authenticity in. True to yourself, authentic, yet kind to others. Fire that is burning within you, that rage, that desire, its purest form is coming forward and pulling stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger on you. And as the sun moves into an opposition with Pluto, Sun at the very end of Cancer, Pluto, the very end of Capricorn, standing on opposite sides of the chart, two absolute powerhouses staring down each other. The solar body, the symbol of infinite knowledge and energy, symbol of source of our soul. Staring down the Lord of the Underworld, the planet where things bubble up from below, things that can only be stuffed down for so long. What is it that is bubbling beneath your surface? What have you been trying to stuff down? Perhaps something you're not acknowledging, something you're trying to ignore or pretend it's not there, something you're making excuses for, something you should be doing or acting on. There is immense transformative action oriented energy this week. Powerhouses of energy. It's a little overwhelming. That's okay. Mindful awareness. Passionate and compassionate. Compassionate not only to others, but to ourselves. Mars in Virgo, staring down Saturn in Pisces. Our drive and our action, our ambition, our movement. In the earthly sign of Mercury. Separating and analyzing and breaking down of thoughts, and perceptions and actions. steps do you need to take? What organization do you need? Where do you need to be maybe a little bit critical, but of a whole lot of service? What do you have to offer? What do you bring forward? Your passion is wonderful and strong. Your compassion is wonderful and powerful and effective. I want you to see yourself standing in front of a bonfire. You're standing in front of a bonfire that you have built and created. You structured it and laid out the wood and the leaves and the brush just right so it would ignite and flourish without being suffocated. And although this fire in front of you is thriving, it's contained and well within its own limitations and boundaries, well within its own space, not inhibiting the grass, the plants, or the animals, or the living beings around it, just existing and flourishing and providing what it has to offer within its own space. And just as this fire is live and well, your passion and your drive and your energy is live and well. Fluctuations happen. But you are taking time to replenish your energy right now. As you look out, up, away from your own fire, you start to notice other lights in the distance. And you notice that there are many other individual fires all around you, always in their own space, thriving, existing, but not overbearing. Can you notice that these are the fires of other individuals following their own path and their own passion? When you look up into the sky and you notice in the distance this beautiful hue of glowing light flickering around the sky, glowing and shining, radiating beauty and peace. As you continue to look at this beautiful glow, this soft, buoyant, warming glow, you notice that it's light emanating from all of these different little individual fires you see. And in this moment, you see an illustration of how we can all follow our own passions and fuel our own burning fires and desires within us, and coexist with the other fires around us. Not only do we coexist, but our energy, our individual energies, they merge together, they blend to create the energy of this world, of this planet. Just like that glow, it emanates into the solar system. And for just a moment, you feel connected and loved by every other being on this planet. All differences aside, only love and connection. We are all walking our own individual path that is perfectly right for us. The good and the bad, the wonderful and the difficult. It's all necessary. And as you focus on this symbol of unity, of oneness, of connection, of all of our energies intermingling into this beautiful, divine glow. Your passion soars, extending and growing bigger than you ever imagined. And your level of compassion for every other being on this planet swells and grows and expands. Thank you for sharing in this personal and collective energy. Thank you for your passion and your drive. Most importantly, thank you for your compassion to the energies outside of your own. And thank you so very much for the compassion you show yourself. Passion, compassion, passion and compassion. A balancing wheel that you are leveling at all times. And as we go forward from here, I hope you feel energized and inspired and full of love and full of ambition at the same time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Oh, I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. I am passionate and compassionate. Lots of lots of movement in the chart. Lots of strong energy moments here. So balance and mindfulness and balancing passion and compassion, they might be needed this week. So may the blessings of the new moon shine down upon you. May you find a new breath of fresh air this week. Thank you, all of you, for being here. And as always, reach out anytime. I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. I've said this before, it's really hard to, sometimes it's really hard to end this because I just want to stay right in this space and this energy. And quite honestly, a lot of times once I turn off the camera and stop the stream, I stay here for a little while. So I encourage you to do that too. I encourage you, those of you that are still with us here at the very, very end, many of you, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. Stay in this space for a little while if you're able to. Stay in this space of passion and compassion, in love and strength. The The balance of the sun and the moon. The balance of the masculine and the feminine. The balance of us versus them. How about us and them? How about we? On that note, have a great night.